Testing. Testing. That's okay. So, it's the time. We got about 30 seconds. Maybe Peter will walk in the door. Bob will come in Saturday. He was here last night. Bob? No, Bob will, yeah. Robin and Sam's going to come back on a Thursday. Maybe. Yeah. They got their second shot. Actually, I'm scheduled next Wednesday to get one. Yeah. What kind? I think the kind. I don't know the brand, but I know that it goes in here. Oh, actually, one of the parents of a student got their appointment for me. So, it's up in Lawrence. That's kind of far away, huh? So, okay, we'll start. Hands up. First exercise. Turning. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. To the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, one more time. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands on your waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Cross. Knees. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Hands on your waist. Neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Center. Hands up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Spread your feet. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Okay, we stretch it out. Switch. 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 Straighten front knee. Switch. 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 Okay, center. Okay, shake it out. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Okay, shoulder roll. Circular movements. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Okay, press, release, exhale, inhale. And Sana. Hands up. Pull in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, wrists. Yeah, the shoulder is rolling in here, yeah. Reverse. So I call it the manipulation of the skeletal structure. So, when we speak of hands, hand movements, it's really arm movements. And leg movements is the same. It's the whole extremity. And here. Okay, palms down. Bigger circle. That's the commuter rail. You hear it? The horn. And last set. And here we go. Up. Okay, shake it out. Okay, we're going to go from side to side. And we switch. Lift. Okay, Sana. So insert needle. And switch. And Sana. Okay, shake it out. Hands up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so we're going to do the leg swing. And switch. Other side. And Sana. Okay. And Sana. Okay, switch. And Sana. Shake it out. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, silk grilling. Switch. Sana. Open and close. Switch. And Sana. Okay, circular movements. Okay, lower hoop. Shoulder height. Elbows down. Palms down. Extend. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Diagonal flying. And switch after this one. Okay, Sana. Cloud hands. Okay, palms down. Lift up. Carry tiger to the mountain. Infinity sign. Okay, form the fist. Okay, palms together, strum the lute. Turn, draw the bow. Okay, hand to the back. Okay, raise the hand. Okay, palms down, deep breathing. So we'll go through short form first. Everybody good? Any questions? No. Okay. Ready? Feet parallel. So, how to feel? Nan, any questions, Steve? Yeah. Mm. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. So when you stand on one leg, your body reacts and responds. So as soon as your body reacts, it creates forces, sort of moments in the body. So when you lift up, if you don't relax, then your upper body becomes tense. So that becomes you become top heavy. So, the more relaxed you are above the waist, then the more stable you'll feel. Just as the center mass is lower, just like the geometry position. Upside down triangles isn't very stable. So, top heavy or strength up on top will create that imbalance. So then, if you kind of widen the base by sinking, then top starts to become relaxed, becomes more centered above. So that kind of has to happen. And then, because we're in this position, when we're in a single-legged position, an empty stance, our spine essentially drops through to the heel of the back foot, and that allows us to stand in a vertical position. So if your spine doesn't find this support, then you're also going to be unstable. So that's right to left. Now, if you lift up and you go like this, then your back will respond, and then you become wobbly because of the tension it's creating. And then when you go out and you open your arms, there has to be a balance between that. If one side is moving faster than the other, then it's going to throw you off. So all these things become part of the reason why it's difficult to do those kicks. And then flexibility. If the tension in the legs, the back of the legs, or wherever, all the muscles that are required to do the kick, if they're in conflict, that's going to create instability. So if you're trying to lift your leg up and this doesn't release, then you're really straining to get the leg to go up. So the only way that the leg will go up without straining is to release and relax, and your leg will go up a little bit further. So that's, all of those things come into play. And all of those things are tied to proprioception, it's tied to control, and it's tied to understanding, right? So the body intelligence, which is the term I use, I don't know if body intelligence is, because one of the students asked me, so what is body intelligence? Does that exist? So how do I explain that? I guess intelligence is knowing. And, maybe you only can think of it as your brain, but the brain controls everything. So if the mind and the body work together, then the mind has to direct the body. When the body cooperates, it's building a relationship, and that becomes intelligence in the body. So you say, well, does that exist? Well, it's just that we're doing movements, vertical elbow, horizontal elbow geometry. When the body starts to know those positions, it's getting more intelligent. Then sensitivity becomes feeling. You know what hot is, you know what cold is, you know what soft is, you know what, I would say, stiffness or rigidity, but it doesn't know to the degree that it has to know to do what you want it to do, because it hasn't experienced that. So I guess experience, insights and all the stuff that we talk about is all part of the learning, but then learning produces intelligence. And essentially you get smarter at it. So we think along those lines. It's very important to try to understand what we're doing. So I try to explain a lot of things in, whether I'm using a metaphor or some type of analogy or some type of, concept that you can relate to. So, as I teach, I know certain things that you may do as a pastime or maybe an additional exercise or sport. Then if you do that, then if I make that correlation, like Steve skis and he does certain things, and you do a lot of walking, and Dan plays golf, she plays tennis. So I know kind of what other sports you get involved with. So if I draw that analogy, then you can kind of relate to it, especially if you're new. When you're more of a veteran, if you've been doing it for a while, then I don't draw off of those other things. I draw off of what you've experienced here, from the long form, the short form, 24 movement, 42 movement, all of these things, that weaponry, apparatus, you start to draw off of what you kind of know, and then that it's cross training, but it's cross understanding. Certain things fall into categories of movement. That happens with everything that you do. You have to kind of draw some kind of reference, just like people that are really good with names. They have a way of doing that by, making a connection to an image or to a place or something like that. So when we do the form, it's the same thing. You draw, the connection to center, to position, to weightedness, so that all that stuff comes into play. So first you have to, with the kicks, if we start here and you do this, it has to be relaxed enough for you not to become conflicted in the top body, right? So when we do this, and we fold, and we open, and we close, and we fold, and we lift, and we extend, and then come down. If you go through it like that in a more relaxed format, and you go through the process, then your body starts to figure that out as a sequential event. And then, now if you think about it too much and you go, and one of your fears is, well, I'm going to lose my balance as soon as I get here, then you start to do that because your focus is so you already gone into what? You're good? Okay. So we're going to do it again, right? So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Without the turn, let's fold, heel kick, and let's go down. So you develop a kind of a fluid motion, and then it won't be as conflicted when you go through the motions. So that's when the movements kind of get into your body and you don't have to think about it. Yeah, because you're probably not doing that because you're so much involved with the hands that you don't see the feet. So you see the feet, you don't see the hands. You see the hands, you don't see the body. You see the body, you don't see the feet. So all the stuff that we're talking about is a level of consciousness. If your body knows it, that's the body intelligence, then you don't have to think about it with that specific thing. So if my foot is pivoting, I'm changing directions. So that ties into, well, this is center, this is 45 degrees, and this is 45 degrees. If I'm here and I'm turning to this corner, that's the body position. Then I turn here, and that becomes the hip. So while we have that, and that as a direction, those adjustments are done in the hip, the torso, and the relationship between the front and the side. So those things, again, is part of the body intelligence, because if we have 12 major joints that we have to manipulate, which one are you going to manipulate when? So where, why, how, and so forth. You have to kind of know. So we're going there, but we're ending up here. We're going there, we're ending up here. The hand is vertical and horizontal. We flip the hands to reverse the ball. We cross the forearms to find the center point. We fold the elbows and we open. Fold the elbows and we open. So we see the fact that we did this and we did this, but then you have another dimension. It's the forward and back dimension between here and here. So you say, where's the forward and backward dimension? Well, my hand came from here to here, that went backwards. My hand went from here to there, went forward. When I fold my hand like this, it went from here forward to backward. I turn. I go up and down. But it's right and left also. So movements happen in space, and you have to be able to kind of, look at it a specific way to understand it. But when you're moving in space, it just happens because you have to create the pattern and track that through a certain sort of a visualization and create the look by a mental image. So those images and those concepts are just housed in here, trying to figure out what that movement is doing. So when we're here and we fold and we unwrap and we go like this and lift and open and then come back to here, it's some arms, some torso, some leg, depends on when, where, and how it's going. And the type of strength you're using is regulated based on whether it's active and passive movement. And active passive movement means, well, if my hand is here, this got here because I turned. This got here because I relaxed my shoulder, sink my elbow, and squid my body. Now when I turn, I unwind my waist slightly because I'm moving in this direction, and then I move in this direction. So my hands create all these minute positions in order to create the next motion. And then you control your movement, building that sequence of events. So that's what's involved in the learning process. So it's not the end goal, it's the process. So you go through this process, you can imagine what your mind is going through and what your brain is going through. While the average person just sits there and doesn't think of anything, nothing's happening other than sitting there, right? You're not really engaged. When you do something like this and you're engaged and you're so mindful, you must be doing something else to the body and the brain relationship. So if they talk about brain plasticity, play crossword puzzles and do all the things that stimulate the brain. Well, crossword puzzles and those things might work the brain, but it doesn't work the neural connections. It doesn't work with motion. It doesn't improve your circulation and your sitting. So it's not really improving your balance. So, specificity of training or the idea of how you get to be better at what you do is to do it. There's no other way to learn it. You can try to think it through, but you can only think as much as your body knows. And if your body doesn't know beyond that certain threshold, then what happens is it doesn't go anywhere. So then you fall asleep. Yeah. Yeah, but so learning it wrong is okay because we learn everything wrong. We have to relearn it in a sense, but learning it wrong will teach you what is correct when the time comes. The more things you do wrong, ultimately the better you're going to be at the end because you'll know the right way. That sounds kind of it's true because like especially if you're doing something with your hands or you're building something, if you make mistakes, you know not to do that again. And the more costly it is, the more likely you're not going to do it again. So that's part of building that understanding and intelligence of what happens. It's like people that do debugging of computers, and they figure out how to do it, and when they're doing it all the time, they figure it out. And once they figure it out, they can really do some amazing things. So that's just it. It's really an experience But the longer you do it, the more experience you have, and the better you are at deciphering the wrongness of movement or wrongness of what you're learning. So it's how we learn. It's how we go through it. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the patience to figure out or go through it because they really don't know what the end goal is. If you don't know what the end goal is, there's no beginning. So you have to start somewhere, and then if it's kind of something that's personal, right? You have to like it. If you don't like it, forget it. You're never going to be able to achieve with it. So that's why people that go through life have to find kind of that thing, whatever it is. And if you find it, then you have something to go through life with. But if you don't, then you're just floundering. You don't know. You don't even know why you exist. So people that have knowing your existence kind of knows what you're existing for. So I assume I exist today to do this. So you always have something to strive with or for. So that's how it is. Can you imagine? I learned all these concepts through Tai Chi or martial arts because you'd have to read a lot of books to figure that out, right? But the thing is, not all the stuff we're talking about is in a book. There's ideas in every book, and people talk about it. But how do you take something and put it into a context where people can relate to it, and then still see there's a benefit? So, anyways, we can go through the form, and then we can do a little bit on those kicks, if that's what we need to do. Okay. This is preparation, beginning styles, right and left side, left side to right, grasp the sparrow's tail. We can do the circular movements. Try to work the circular form by sort of smoothing everything out. here's the kicks. Here's your first hand movement. We can use that mirror too. And you lift from the thigh and you kick. Turn. Left heel kick, fold, and down. Brush knee, right side. Planting punch. Same as the first set of hand movements, and you go to the corner, fold your elbows, lift your knee, cross behind, left up, right up in front, turn, draw down, go 180 degrees to the rear corner, and then we clench the fist and turn. We lower, we cross, we level, the knee is up, and then your heel kick, and then we're here. Then we go down and create that circle again. Okay, then we put the hand on top, flip it over, fold, and parting leg. Turn. You flipped your hand at that point, the right is underneath, parting leg, follow the stroke down like a hammer fist, and back fist. Form the fist, divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms, left in tiger, springs to mountain. Bring the hands down, release the tension, turn, go to lower hoop, upper hoop, palms out, sink the elbows, relax the shoulders, cross the arms, turn to the corner, second set of obliques. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Single whip. Hold the ball. Reverse the ball. Diagonal flying. Neutral position. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. Step up. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. Toe out, step up. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. 4 corners, we're going to cross. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit back, turn. And then we part the horse's mane in this corner. Then we cross over to the opposite corner. Jade Lady work shadow. Turn, pivot, double step. Jade Lady work shadow and grasp the sparrow's tail. out hands. Then we have the first downward posture. Snake sticks out tongue. Lift the knee. Poke and kick. Opposite side. Okay, carry tiger to the mountain again. Step up. Press forward. Raise the hand. Bend from the waist. Stork flaps wings. Turn. Sit back. Insert the needle. Fan to the back. Stroke down. Parry and punch. Step up. Form the fist. And punch. Divert. Block. And punch. Step up. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Signal whip. Okay, turn. Palm strikes face. Turn shoulders. Drive it in. Turn. Single lotus kick. Left side brush knee. Step up to punch down to crotch. Step up to grasp the sparrow's tail. Hook your wrists. Single whip. Second downward posture. Go to neutral, vertical. Cover hand. Fingertip thrust. Invert. Turn. Pull down. Step up to 7-star. Retreat. Hook your wrists. Ride the tiger. Palm strike face. Turn. Change the palm. Lotus kick double. Draw down. Draw bow to shoot tiger. Palm strikes face. Turn. Parry and punch. Step up. High pat the horse. Step up. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Hook your wrists. Hold the ball. Okay, good. Deep breathing. Inhale. So if you get the motions for the first two kicks and the transition even to the third kick, the hand movement's essentially the same. Because when you get to beat the tiger, the hand section is the same. Just that when you go to beat the tiger with the last section or the last phase of it, when you turn to here, you have a lower hoop, you have a cross arm position, and you have a level hand position. And then you stroke out horizontally like that. So over here, there's 1, 2, 3. So when the elbows go up, lift your knee and then extend together. And then this one is really another posture. That's 2 punches to the ear. So if you try to memorize all of that, that could be a little bit too much because you forget whether it's here, here, there. So break it down into this as beat the tiger, final position. This becomes your heel kick. And then that's done. This becomes your 2 punches to the ear. So essentially you have 3 different things there. So when you blend it all together, you know, a lot of people have a little trouble memorizing all of that until you do it enough. See, doing it often is how we learn everything, creatures of habit, but it's that experience. You do it once, it's kind of there, or then you do it again and again, and over the period of time, you start to get familiar with it. So that's recognition. When we don't do something or go someplace often enough, we don't recognize it. It's not in the long-term memory. So then you have to go over and over until it's in the long-term memory. And once it's in the long-term memory, and the longer you have it in the long-term memory, the more upfront it is. You could have something in a long-term memory that fades away if you stop doing something. But it depends how deep it is as a long-term memory, because you can always pull it out. I have students that come back after 10 years and they say, "Oh, I don't remember everything," because it's not in the forefront of the mind. And then you start to go over it. "Oh, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that," and it starts to come back. I have to pull stuff out from the back a lot of times because I don't practice all the forms that we do. I have to kind of extract. If I'm teaching it, I have to review it or go through it and see it. Because it's a good thing I have students that have learned it. Because there's so much that it's hard to maintain unless you're maintaining it. So it's just, sort of part of the course that you always have it there. So that's what teachers do. They have to go back and review their notes. So the thing is, I don't have notes. The only thing we have now today is videos, so you can draw off of your video. So that's a good thing. Teachers in the past may have kept notes. My teacher, I probably kept a lot of notes, but they're all written in Chinese. And then only the person that writes the notes understands what their notes are. So that's just the way it is. A lot of the learning back in the day was verbal, and verbal passed down in passages, and the passages are generally like poems. So you learn the poem, so they have these, and what's inside the poem is housing the strategies or the principles that we're talking about. So that's how you kind of store it. Because when it comes to martial arts in the language, because every discipline has a language. Tai Chi has its language, martial arts has its language. Those are the names of the postures and the concepts that it's written about. So those passages, especially in Chinese language, isn't understood by a person that doesn't do martial arts but can read. They can read it but not know what it means. That's how distinct it is when it comes to principles. So I have passages that my teacher wrote, and he gave it to me. And because it's all handwritten on a piece of paper. I was going to have it scripted, with calligraphy and so on. So my mother-in-law, she has very good handwriting, so she rewrote it. But she told me, she said, I have no idea what he's talking about. Yeah, he says, I don't understand it. So that just shows you that even though you could speak the language, read the language, you don't always interpret it because you don't have the understanding. So while we're going through this, I try to give you the ideas of what it is, because I translate it into English as an understanding that I have. But without that, that's what lost in translation is. People that study without the information really is second guessing what everything you're doing. So that's why they in a foreign country, and you're only mimicking movements, you don't really understand it. So that's what Tai Chi is lacking, really, the understanding that it has these benefits. So people are getting prescribed it, but we don't really understand enough about it as a novice to appreciate it. So you have to actually go through the process to gain the appreciation. And if the longer you've done it, the more you realize that there's something there. But most of us just, it's like taking a pill. You don't know what's in it. You just take it because you were told that it was good. Well, not good, but I mean good for you. But so that's research. That we just assume that they're telling us the correct information because you're going to take it into your body, and then the side effects, you won't know that till you get the effect of the side effect. So, but with doing this, there's really no side effects because you're not really swallowing it. You're digesting it, but you're not swallowing it. So actually, it's up in here. So that's like that's like preventive medicine rather than medicine. So, right? Don't you work with the mind? So people that can get the nuts and bolts screwed up here tight enough, then it probably is helpful. And Tai Chi does help, in that way. So is there another question? Steve, you want to run through any of the kicks? We have, huh? Yeah, we got about 4 or 5 minutes, yeah. In the kick. Yeah. The first downward position? Yeah. So the first downward position is where where the form starts to replicate. So the only movement that's after the first downward posture that's new is golden cockroach stance on one leg, right? So we did this drill at one time where we just kind of went like this and went like this. You remember that? Yeah, that's to get you balance. And we're doing it faster, so it's easier sometimes when you're doing it fast. So when we do the downward posture, if we know what that is, if we can get through the downward posture, that's a pull down, and then you're going to come up. It's a cross hand position. Now pull out, turn this foot out to give you a little bit of a base, to lift the knee up, and then turn your body. So keep this on your side. So the hand movement's like this. See how our hands are? This is right on by the sternum. This is in front of the forehead, and this is the twist of the body. See how my body is twisting? Yeah. See how that's twisting? Now, what you don't see in the twist is that my shoulders are adjusting. See, when I'm here and I twist, you see my shoulders are not rigid. In other words, they're separating. So this angle has changed. This angle has changed. So if you look closely just at my shoulders in a frontal view, you see that? That's releasing the tension in your body. But you're looking for a structural integrity of a position. And that is this. Now, if I'm in this position and I'm turning, right? So I'm here, I lift up and I'm turning. what am I turning? My spine is going into the heel of this foot. Right? So there's a twist in your back, right? Twist, and then this is sustained here. Turn away. Yeah, so see what your shoulder did? It folded. Yeah, yeah, see? It release. Yeah, it's right. It's right. Yeah, yeah. See, because if my hand is like this, right? This is, and you put your hand here, and I just lift my knee, and you pushed on my arm. Pushed on my arm. That would push me backwards, right? It would put, right? Now when I twist, isn't that sneaky? It's not really sneaky, but the old masters will not teach you that, because like in the Chinese movies, you don't teach your student more than you want because he'll defeat you and destroy you. But this is a modern world, so I'm not afraid of that. There's other things that are going to destroy you. Huh? So you go like that. And then when you touch down, and then on this side you do this. So the body form, it becomes functional. Because while you're standing on one leg, how could you be stable, right? You can't even kick in it without falling over. How are you going to defend yourself? So that's this one, yeah. Yeah, this one is a kick. And then the hold. Now if you don't turn your body, now when you look at this, you see this hand is coming out. That's like you're striking. So you see that there's functionality, there's body mechanics, there's body form. And body mechanics creates structures and strength. Functionality creates forces and direction. So everything that we do actually is directional, and the intensity of the forces depends on the task. So if you're stirring something or you're lifting something, it's a directional. The intensity of movement depends on how much muscular strength is utilized to do that specific thing. Now when we do movements and it's kind of, as far as functionality, it's abstract, you have to say, well, what am I doing? How much strength do I need? That's what's calculated here through the proprioception and understanding. So when your body starts to become smart like that, then you're not going to do things or waste energy that's not necessary. So that's a level of thought that's a little bit deeper than for you. It's okay, but if someone's watching this, say, what's he talking about, right? So that's kind of what it is. But when you put it into a context of, stirring and how much intensity, how much speed you need, it really is a function of how much you're going to get all over the stove. Because when you learn and you go, and then it's all over the place, you'll know that that's too fast. So you learn through those kind of mistakes. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to figure it out. So it took me a long time to kind of explain this to you. I probably couldn't tell you this, 40 years ago, because I wasn't thinking like this, right? So I had to go through the process of stirring stuff and getting it all over the place to figure that. But, I just draw those kind of analogies or put situational things. Then you can relate to it. So it's, all this stuff that we're talking about, it affects your reflexes, how you drive, how you deal with a situation when you stumble or fall, or your body learns to respond to a lot of those things. And, it's just one of those things. Okay, I think it's time. Yep, 5 minutes past. Okay. Another day.